What's good, y'all? I'm back here today, and y'all might have heard me say in my last couple videos that I think that teams give up on young players way too early, and that these other players sometimes end up going to different teams and start playing better. And then everyone's like, yo, why did they give up on this guy? He was only 23, 24 years old. They already gave up on him. He was still so young. Well, a lot of the time, it's because the original team he's with tries to make him into something that he's not. And that's what's happening with Lonzo Ball. First of all, big reason on why Lonzo is just not doing Lonzo things is because the Pelicans roster construction is just flat out atrocious. And you could tell by the way they play and their record that it's just not good. And obviously, the other thing I'm alluding to is the way they use Lonzo Ball. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. I'm sure many people, many of your favorite YouTubers, maybe people on Twitter have mentioned it before, but they're basically reducing Lonzo to a spot-up shooter. Now, any logical person would be like, wow, Lonzo Ball, he's a point guard known for his passing vision and defense, and he's not a great shooter. How about we don't make him into a spot-up shooter? But apparently, the Pelicans don't realize that. Look at it like this. I don't want to be the person sitting here and comparing Lonzo and his brother LaMelo and that they're very similar, but honest to God, they're a lot more similar than you'd expect. Sure, LaMelo does some things better, Lonzo does some things better, and you know, they're not the same exact player, but one thing they do have in common is their point guard play. I believe that both of them have really good passing IQ, passing vision, passing ability, and they're some of the best passers in the game today. With that being said, just take a look at how the Hornets allow LaMelo Ball to play versus how the Pelicans make Lonzo Ball play. There has really yet to be a Hornets game I've watched and I've told myself, what the fuck is LaMelo doing right now? Because a lot of the time they allow him to be what he's good at, and that's a point guard. They allow him to run pick and rolls, run a fast break, have the ball in his hands, and initiate offense. And LaMelo Ball and his brother Lonzo are both unselfish players. Like, I guess it just runs in the family, but they both love to pass the ball, and they look to pass first before they look to shoot first. And the crazy thing is about LaMelo is that he's on a team with two other point guards, Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier. And sure, there are some possessions where he ends up being in the corner or on the wing, just standing and watching, and at that point, sure, you have to catch and shoot also at sometimes, but for some reason, a LaMelo Ball, when he's on a team with 2 point guards, does that less than Lonzo, who's playing with Eric Bledsoe, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and it's just crazy to me that LaMelo Ball handles the ball more than Lonzo does, and he comes off the bench and is on a team with 2 other point guards. And sure, Lonzo sometimes brings the ball up the court. There's times where he does do that, but really it's not like that, because if you watch the Pelicans, I want to say like 80% of the time he brings the ball up and then just flips it to BI or Zion or Bledsoe or whatever and just goes stands in the corner. I swear to God, there's no point of him being your point guard if he's not going to initiate offense and run pick and rolls or run plays for anybody. He's just going to flip and stand in the corner. He's a spot-up shooter. A lot of guys can do that. Wesley Matthews can do that. He's done that for the Lakers. He could bring the ball up and go stand in the corner. It's, Lonzo Ball is not good at that. And again, going back to the Pelicans roster construction, if the Pelicans just wanted a spot-up shooter, I don't understand why they didn't draft Aaron Nesmith with the 13th overall pick and took another point guard instead, who they also don't really play that much. I don't really know what they're doing in the front office, but they're kind of bricking right now. And yeah, I'm sure, I don't know, Pelicans fans, Pelicans Reddit, whatever, Pelicans Nation, I don't know how y'all feel about the front office, but if I were a Pelicans fan, I would not be happy with the things they've done this offseason. Sure, guys like Steven Adams are good players. He's a good player, but does he really fit around Zion and BI? I don't know. Aaron Nesmith was right there, and it's not like he's out there doing anything for the Celtics. They got too many players over there. He could have actually had a role on your team. But no, they wanted to draft another point guard. Now, with all due respect, Lonzo hasn't been very good this season himself. He's shooting like 30% from 30-something% from the field, like 20-some% from 3-point range, and I don't know his free throw percentage, but I'm sure it's like 50-something. And I guess there could be an argument for both sides of the coin where you say, look, Lonzo hasn't been playing well, but at the same time, you're like, he hasn't been playing well because you made him do something he's not good at. like, it's clearly obvious to us at this point that Lonzo Ball is not a superstar. So if you're not a superstar or an all-star or anything like that, you're basically a role player, which is exactly what Lonzo is. And I believe he can be a very, very good role player, starting caliber player. However, a role player excels at his role, and they are not allowing Lonzo to do his role. That's like if the Lakers went ahead and took Montrezl Harrell and told him to be a point guard. I know it's not the same exact situation, but that's kind of what it feels like. Lonzo Ball is not a spot-up shooter. That's the worst part of his game. If, you know, he's a great defender, he's a great facilitator, a great rebounder for his position, but the one thing he's really, really bad at is shooting. So why do you make him do the one thing he's terrible at? And again, I know last season he was kind of on the upswing and you thought he was going to improve. And yes, Lonzo does have to get better at shooting, especially if it's open shots. But still, you know this. We've known this, that Lonzo has never been a consistently good shooter, yet you've reduced him to just being that. And I think ultimately what this comes down to is hashtag free Zoe. And the Pelicans, I think, need to trade Lonzo Ball. Now, right now, I don't know if it'd be the best time. I think the best thing to do would to be allow him to play point guard to get his value up and trade him, but I don't think they're going to do that. So I think he just has to start hitting a couple more of his threes. If the Pelicans see that he's on a hot streak, I think they should just go bam. Let's take advantage of this and trade him. But I would definitely like to see him on another team. I don't really know. There's been rumors flying around here and there. I really don't trust anything like that because, you know, anybody can make them up. Anybody with one connection could make some bullshit up and then people will take it and run with it. Also, they don't read articles. They just read headlines. But just personally for me, he definitely needs to go to a team that needs point guard play. The Clippers are a team like that. I would, you know, I'm a Laker fan, so I would hate to see Lonzo on the Clippers, but he would be good for them. He would be amazing for them. I don't think Reggie Jackson's getting it done. Lou Will's having a terrible year. I know they kind of use Luke Kennard as a point guard sometimes, but it's like Luke Kennard, you know, he's more of the spot-up shooter that you want. And maybe that could be a swap right there. Luke Kennard for Lonzo Ball. Again, I'm not 100% sure with any of these ideas on the contracts. I'm sure they could get it to work, throwing little pieces here and there. But, you know, a guy like Luke Kennard will help the Pelicans do what Lonzo's doing, a spot-up shooter in the corner. And it would help the Clippers fill one of their biggest holes on the team, in my opinion. Another team I have thought about was the Chicago Bulls. Now, granted, Kobe White has been playing better of late. And I'm not saying Kobe White should, you know, is bad or anything like that. But he's, to me, he seems like more of a two guard, and I think, you know, maybe as a six man off the bench is what his role would be in an ideal situation in the future of the NBA. Again, he has been better this year at playmaking, and I'm not about to just sit here and say let's just stunt his development. You know, he's never gonna be that, but it's just an idea. Trading him to the Bulls, they could use another guard. I know Satoransky's there, but bruh, like, the Bulls are a young rebuilding team. Thomas Satoransky is not part of your future. Think about a Lonzo Ball deal. And somebody I think you could swap him for is a guy like Otto Porter. You have Patrick Williams, who you're definitely going to develop into being the starting three for your future, maybe even four, but we'll have to see. And then you have Garrett Temple, who's actually playing really, really well this season. So you kind of have abundance of wing players. You still got Denzel Valentine as well. So maybe Otto Porter is the odd man now. I believe his contract is expiring. Let me double check that. Yeah, I was right. So he took his player option, and this is the last year of his deal. So ship him out for somebody that could be in the long term of the future. And I know you will have to end up paying Lonzo, but the way he's playing right now, I don't know if you'd have to pay him more than Otto Porter. Otto Porter was making, I believe, $28 million this season. So I really, really doubt you're going to have to pay Lonzo more than that. And he could actually, and if he can work out for you guys and develop into, you know, being the player that we think he can be, it might even be worth it. If you sign him for like $15 million a year, I know it's like for Lonzo, but he's a great defender, something also the Bulls need. He would help the Bulls defensively. I think an Otto Porter Jr. for Lonzo Ball swap might be in the best interest. And for the Pelicans, Otto Porter shooting 41% from three again. They want spot-up shooters because they suck at shooting. Otto Porter can help that. Just two ideas I have, throwing them out there. If you guys have any yourself, Let me know in the comment section down below. You know it's free, Zoe. I really hope he can get to a team that uses him properly, or maybe the Pelicans. I mean, I don't really like what the Pelicans are doing this season. Very, very disappointed in them. Shout out to Brandon Ingram and Zion, though. They've been hooping. I guess 2 bright spots on that team. Other than that, man, I really want to see Lonzo succeed. And hopefully he can get to a situation where he does that. Before I go, one more thing. To everybody watching this, please, please, in the comment section down below, let me know what I can do to improve the quality of these videos. I really want to make high quality videos on YouTube, and even if this doesn't amount to much, I want to put out the best content I possibly can. But in order to do that, I need to know what to improve on. So whether it's getting a better mic, obviously better background, that will come with time, but better editing, maybe I should make a list of notes and read off it. Please let me know what you guys think I can do to improve these videos. Maybe I should have more visual effects. Anything like that would be extremely, extremely helpful, and I would really appreciate any criticism in the comment section down below. And yeah, again, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like, make sure to subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and I'm out on this one. Bow.